I interviewed my grandpa's dad. He was in the Marines. He served for 13 years. He served our country in the World War II in the Korean War. And received medals. After my interview, I learned that my grandpa's dad Arnold Lee Hudson served in World War II. And my name is Brody Bain, and I'm a fourth grader. I interviewed my great-grandpa. He was in the U.S. Army. He served for 2 years. He served our country in the Korean and received honorable discharge medals. After my interview, I learned that you should always have discipline and have respect. The best way to honor a veteran is to respect them 100%.
My name is Luke Santos, and I am a fourth grader. I interviewed my grandpa. He was in the Navy and served for 2 years. He served our country in World War II. After my interview, I learned that you have to treat every veteran with respect.
Hi, my name is Skylar Steele. I'm a fourth grader. I interviewed my uncle. He was in the Army. He served for 8 years, but he was sadly injured for 6 months. He served our country in the Desert Operation Storm Shield. After my interview, I learned that different veterans have a different memory of a war or year in service. Like my uncle said, it was hot and the oil fields were on fire. And the life lessons I learned was don't take anything for granted.
My name is Elise Lipe, and I am a fourth grader. I interviewed my grandpa. He was in the Army and served for 2 years. He served our country in the Vietnam War. After my interview, I learned that you should honor a veteran every year because they are protecting our country and risk their lives for us.
My name is Jack Arthur, and I am in fourth grade. I interviewed my grandpa. He was in the National Guard and served for 28 years. And he received a Good Conduct Medal and Overseas Medal. After I interviewed my grandpa, the important thing was he had 2 dads, one dad, 2 uncles, and 3 brothers. He enlisted. He wanted to serve our country. His dad was in World War II. He said the way to treat a veteran is the way that you want to be treated. And here's a picture.
My name is Jeff McCoy, and I'm a fourth grader. I interviewed my grandpa. He was in the Army and served for 2 years. He served our country in the Vietnam War. He received 1 honor medal. After my interview, I learned my grandpa is brave like his dad, and his dad was in World War II, but my grandpa and his dad should be honored, but his dad the most. He died, but died a hero, and so will my grandpa. The life lesson my grandpa learned was life is sacred.
My name is Harvey Arthur, and I am in fourth grade. I interviewed my uncle. He was in the National Guard and served for 18 years. He served our country in Iraq and served Army and earned the Army nomination. After my injury, I learned he helped the National Guard because 2 of his grandpas did it.
My name is Luke Brewer, and I'm a fourth grader, and I interviewed my papa who served in the Vietnam War and got a campaign ribbon, 3 Purple Hearts. He also got shot 3 times during the service. He got shot in his hand, his shoulder, and also right across the cheek, which I'm pretty sure hurt, but he's luckily still alive, and I'm very glad for that.
My name is Kelly Light, and I'm in a fourth grader. I interviewed my grandpa. He was in the Army and served for 2 years. He served our country in the Vietnam War and received Bronze Stars. After my interview, I learned that my grandpa had done a lot of things in the Army. The best way to honor a veteran is to respect and say thank you. My grandpa's life lesson learned was working together to accomplish goals.
Delaney Town, I am a fourth grader. I interviewed my grandfather. He served for 20 years. He served our country in the Desert Shield War and received Servant's Person of the Year. After my interview, I learned the best way to honor a veteran is to thank a veteran when you meet them. The life lesson my grandfather learned was to be patient, be kind, care about other people, and never take anything for granted.